Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Intrepid Dawn. My name is Captain Katarn, and tonight we're going to get started with our Star Citizen campaign. So, as you might have seen in the title, I have it as Star Citizen New Player Guide, and today my goal is to take you through and take a look at the different ships, kind of from a comparison point of view, so that you could make the best decision. Alright, thank you. So let's take a look first. So, there are two what I would call basic starter packages in the game. They both go for $45. They both include the base game of Star Citizen, and I believe for an additional 15 maybe, you can also get Squadron 42, which if you've looked that up isn't a pretty amazing deal. But let's go ahead and go into ship customization so we can kind of take a look at the ships with their hardpoints. So we will select the ship. So the two that you have a choice of whenever you get started. One is the Consolidated Outland Mustang Beta. I'm sorry, the Mustang Alpha. It's very similar to this one. And it's actually about to undergo a rework, so we know that that's available. So as you can see, it is a single-person ship. Kind of looks like, I don't know, like a grasshopper maybe. But it is pretty quick. In my opinion, it's the sexier of the two, for sure. And we'll be taking a look at those in the hangar. Let's go ahead and do that. So before we do that, let's also pull up real quick the RSI Aurora so that you can see what that looks like. And we call this the space cockroach, not only because there's a lot of them and they seem to be pretty difficult to kill, but because it also kind of looks like one. You can kind of see the wing struts on the side. Both of them are starter ships, both of them with the same capabilities essentially. Just depends really on what you want. Let's go ahead and exit this. We're gonna go to Universe. I'm gonna do a hangar, so we'll go into the Revel in York, and we'll pull them out and take a look at what's going on. You can come in, Dark Lord Baggin. That's fine. I'm not gonna. I don't know how much I'm gonna spend in the actual verse itself. We're looking at these specifically. All right. So right now I'm just kind of searching around for the dots. I forget where they are. Here, it's been a while. Okay, Mist Freelancer, Colorless Black, okay. This is good. So if I know that there's one there, there's probably one over here too. Here we go. Now, the first one I'm going to pull out is the Mustang Beta. Like I said, these are going to be reworked, so this is not the final form, like, yeah, you know, a Seon, but this is the, this is exactly what it was when it came out, and then it's going to be reworked and look even more sexy. You can find pictures of it on the forum, but it's not quite done yet, but it's going to be pretty cool. In fact, for my money, I mean, I pretty much always go with the rule of cool, and I find the Mustang to be significantly better looking than the RSI, so for me I would always gravitate towards that, but your mileage may vary between what you want. Now this is the beta version, so it actually has some living quarters here, where the alpha I don't believe has that. But it's pretty cool. So here you go. You can take a look at it. It has wing struts that double on the landing gear that doubles on the wings. And to get into it, you have to come over here and enter the ship. Okay. This is also being reworked because it's currently bugged. It's not that great. You come in kind of crouched over, you can't do anything. But here we are. As you can see back here, there is a bug. Yeah, there's a little bit of a living quarters with a bed, as well as some random space junk up in the sky. That's weird. All right, and over here we have the cockpit. So go ahead and enter the pilot seat. Alright, and then we turn around, and here we can see all of the controls. So we have the ability to handle everything just like you would and you know, on a different ship. So you can do your flight ready, your engines, you can open your exterior, etc. And the view from the Mustang is fantastic. I mean, you might as well not even have a cockpit here. You have a full 360 view. This thing is agile. This thing can both dogfight, and I believe the Alpha is also capable of a little bit of cargo, so you have the option to kind of figure out what you want to do in the verse. And there we go. So that's it. If you want to get out of here, well, And there we go, just like that. It's not as bad as it used to be. It used to be buggy enough to kill you when you came out of it. So hopefully when they redo it, it should be in a lot better shape. But this is the Mustang beta. Once again, I mean, it's you have the choice between the beta and the alpha, I believe. Just slightly different. Let's go ahead and pull up the Aurora. I think I got it. Let's make sure it's not the... There we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the RSI Aurora, and just to kind of give you an idea, I should have done this before. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you. Alright, so just to give you guys an idea of what it is that we're doing. So this is the size difference between the character and the ship. The Aurora is absolutely a jack of all trades. It's neither attractive... it's neither attractive nor... Well, it can't win pretty much any category. It's not the best looking, it's not the best capable, but it can do anything. So, especially if you're a new player and you're not really sure what you want to do, this may be the way to go. You can see the rework. This has recently had a rework to bring it up to current Star Citizen model and texture and other you know, features. So take a look at this. You can see there's quite a few different things that you can do. We'll go ahead and enter the ship, and there's a the ladder there. So here we are. It has nice interior blue lighting, kind of gives you an idea of what's going on. You can open this up. There's a bed back here as well as cargo. So we have that. Now the thing is that the RSI Aurora doesn't really have a ton of space. It's really designed to be, you know, like your first starter ship, and you move away from that as soon as you can. So here we are in the cockpit, and as you can see, as I move my joystick, yeah, he moves his hands in comparison. And down here, you have a pretty much RSI view. I think all of the cockpits share the same strut characteristics, which is kind of cool. Right. So, yeah, so I hope you guys like it. So these are the two ships, and really what you want to do is, or which one you want to take is completely up to you. I like to follow the rule of cool, but both of them are excellent starter ships, and then you can move on from there. So this is probably the ship that I would say 95% of the people in the verse have, the Aurora, because I think it might have been sold first. I'm not sure, but a lot of times we kind of, yes, it would absolutely be possible, I believe, John. So a lot of times we kind of like show off the upper end ships, like I'll get in the Freelancer or something like that, and truthfully, most people are going to be working their way up from this ship itself. So this is probably closer to real life. Let's go ahead and power this on just to show you kind of inside how this works.
Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Okay, engine on. Which you probably want to. In here, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if there's an ejection seat in here or not, but I'm pretty sure it will work. At least there was a bug when it was on the PTU. I shot through the roof of this hangar and I was dead, and it was a lot of fun. But anyway, so that's how it works. And if we were to go like this, you can kind of get another idea of what the ship looks like from an exterior perspective. And it's pretty cool. Like I said, it is the little cockroach that could. You can see my doors are open now because I selected that. But it's pretty neat. Let's go ahead and jump into the game itself. So let me connect my joystick here real quick. 2 seconds. Sorry, I take it out of the way whenever I'm not using it for extended amount of time. All right, let's exit to the menu. Yeah, absolutely. You don't need a ship to play the game. You do need a starter package, which is going to come with the ship. But if you just decided to never even pick it up, you could always go through somebody else's if you wanted to. Alright, so let's go ahead and go to Arena Commander. And the reason for this is I want to fly them both in free flight and kind of show you what they're like. So we'll do single player free flight. change the ship. So we'll start out with the Mustang Beta. On Broken Moon. We'll launch the game.
Your journey begins now. All systems operational.
Okay, so you can kind of see I'm in here right now. I'm moving
At full strength.
I'm moving the ship around, and this is very, very responsive. It's got very strong thrusters for its mass, and you can kind of see, you know, just what happens whenever you do all of that. So hopefully that is not making you sick. Now this is the Mustang Beta, like I had said previously. Let's go ahead and switch this out. Do some flight profiling and kind of show you guys. You can see it has size 1 guns. They are gimbaled, if you're interested in that. Personally, I hate gimbals, so I like to keep them. If possible going straight ahead. But I guess there we go. Oh, all right. Well, I guess maybe they switched that up because that should have locked the gimbals for me. Oh well. All right, so here we are. So we can go max speed. Let's see what that is. We're gonna use our afterburner. Straight line here. You can see this has a pretty good flight characteristics. We're almost up to max speed. That's very quick.
Proximity alert. Front.
Ah, okay, we're gonna die. I died. So we have the respawn in a second, but I was just trying to get us up to full speed so you can see it. But as you can see, it's very, very quick. We have some videos where I've taken the other ships and they don't get up to speed nearly that quickly.
Welcome.
All right, let's try this
Your
again.
journey begins now. All systems operational.
Let's see if I can get up to full speed before we hit the boundary this time.
Shield at full strength.
12:16. So now we know. Yeah, I just barely made it before we hit the boundary, which kills us. But very fast. I think the Saber was like I want to say like 12:21 or something like that. It was you know, one of the faster ships in the game, and this one is just as fast. It's also very small, so it would make it very difficult to find it. But basically,
Operational.
because of that, it's a small and agile fighter. It's got these little size 1 guns, so you're not going to be, you know, you're not going to be all that useful in a fight, but at the same time, you can defend yourself. And there are specific versions of this ship built for dogfighting, or, you know, the beta has the living quarters in it, which is what I have right now. So you could upgrade to that if you chose to, etc. I think the Delta is the one that's specifically for dogfighting, and then there's the Gamma, which is a racing version of this, so you can actually race in Star Citizen if you're interested in that. This just kind of shows you the responsive characteristics of this ship. I wanted to really show that off, so let me go over here and see if I can do some strafing. It's been a while. I don't know if all this is set up yet. We'll see. Yeah, it feels like it is.
Proximity alert. Front. Proximity alert. High.
Okay, I guess it's not yet. I was looking for my side thrusters, so I don't have those set up. I was gonna skim around this, but you can just kind of see how incredibly responsive this thing is. And with the weight, I'm able to make turns, so this may be the ship for you. Let's go ahead and exit to the menu again. Someday, Assassin, someday. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you. Let's change the ship here. We're gonna go to the RSI Aurora. And we're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna launch the game. You guys should notice a difference in the thrusters, I believe, as we move around.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries.
See, this is something that would be a little bit more difficult to pick up in the, you know, watching it. But if you watch that circle, that's my inputs, essentially, with the joystick. And as I go from one side to the other, there's hesitation, and then the ship comes along. So there's definitely more of a mass feel to this, and the thrusters are not nearly as snappy. Like you can kind of feel as I move this around, the ship responds, but it does not respond instantly. It feels like there is some serious mass to this ship. So that's the difference between these two ships. The other one is a very sleek, sexy fighter. Not a ton of hit points, not a ton of mass. You know, it may not be possible for you to do everything that you wanted to do in that ship, but you can look good doing it while you try. Oh, excuse me. And this ship is more of a, you know, jack of all trades. Tries to bring you home. It's not going to be flashy. There's going to be a ton of them, but it gets it done. Look at this. We can't even get to max speed in this one before we hit the wall. So that's the difference. The Mustang has significantly more maneuverability. They have significantly more, you know, thrusters. They have a higher speed, but the Aurora has, I think, maybe bigger cargo holds. Definitely a little bit more survivability there, and it's a trade-off. And I think that it even has possibly better weapons. So we'd have to take a look at it. It's been a long time since I've seen it. What I'm doing at this point is I'm just going to try to get us over to the boundary without hitting it. And then stop and see if we can go across to the other side. So I can maybe get a top speed reading on this ship. Alright, here we go. Alright, this laser beam is halfway across the level, because this is a simulation. Alright, so we know it's at least 10 something, and we still can't get to full speed, even boundary to boundary, whereas the Mustang is able to do it very quickly. Okay, let's take a look at it here in third person as well, so we can kind of see the ship here. There we go. Okay, so here it is. I mean, you can kind of see it in space. It is pretty neat when the guns fire. Hey, Sean has donated $10 to Captain Qatar, and here you go. I know it's not a lot, but I hope it helps. Dude, you're the man. Thank you, I appreciate that. I'm also going to be doing a series with each of these whenever they release the new variant for the Mustang, just to allow you guys to view them. It'll be a pre-recorded series, but I thought that there would definitely be some value to doing this in the live setting, so that I couldn't just, I just couldn't, you know, hide over any glaring weaknesses or anything like that. And you can see the game exactly as it is now. So if it crashed, you would be able to expect that. But you can kind of see what the rework brings to Star Citizen. There is a very nice level of realism there. The lighting is really cool, and overall, I mean, the Aurora, while it is not in anyone's definition sexy, it's certainly much cooler now that it's done. So let's go ahead and play around in here a little bit. So one of the things that you can do is use this satellite to practice your flying. And I'm not doing a very good job with it. I'm probably gonna die. But basically, you learn how to fly in this game by trying to orbit this and try some of the different mechanics that they have. There's something called the Legacy Instructional Series, which I highly recommend to any new pilot in Star Citizen, because this is not like Star Wars. Like, if you've ever played X-Wing versus TIE Fighter, Jump to Lightspeed, whatever, those are all atmospheric flight in space, and Star Citizen doesn't use that. Star Citizen uses more of a Newtonian physics model, where I can turn like this, you know, and I can give it power, but I'm not going to instantly turn. There's going to be a ton of sliding and rolling and all that, and I have to account for my G-forces and momentum, and I can actually make myself black out or red out depending on the force of the G-forces that's affecting my pilot. So all of that has to be accurately assessed. There we go, and the gimbals are perfect on this one, right dead center. Alright. So those are the two ships. Now that we've seen them here, let's go ahead and take a look at them in the verse and see if anything changes with them in terms of quantum travel or anything else. So go ahead and exit back to the menu now. Yeah, don't worry about this sponsorship. I appreciate the people that did. But hey, what's up, Dragon Master Knight? 12? Is that 12? I'm going to make a quick pop-up since I'm working on my own video games. Awesome, good to hear it, man. I have a Patreon page that I just put up today. So, you have a great night, Assassin. So that's going to replace the sponsorship going forward. So I'm going to set it so that it doesn't renew for anybody, just because I don't want you guys to have to do that. The Patreon one, Google takes like 40% of the sponsorship. So Patreon's a better deal for the creator and for you, I guess, obviously, because you are trying to donate that money to the channel. So I will have a link for that in the description of the video, but there'll be a specific video out about Season 3 Stellaris, how you can get evolved, etc. So that just came up today. Alright, cool. Let's go ahead and go into the verse real quick. I'm gonna go into the Crusader. I'm gonna choose the EU because I would think that most of them are probably asleep now. It's probably like 4 in the morning EU time. Something like that. 5 hours, 6 hours away. There we go. Alright, it should take just a second. Let me just double check. There we go. That's weird. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get in. Exciting. I was afraid for a second we wouldn't, so while we're waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and mute the audio and play a quick video for you. Okay, so it is your destiny. Thank you very much, guys, for checking that out. So here we are loaded into Star Citizen right now. I'm gonna do a quick cheat, so let's do, it's not a cheat, but R display info 3, and we can see what the frame rate is. And the frame rate is not fantastic right now, but that's good enough for what we're trying to do. Let's go ahead. I'm going to run down and spawn my ship. We're going to take it out into the verse and actually fly it around. Because it's one thing to fly it in, you know, that simulated environment where we can't even get up to max speed. But I wanted to see if there was actual value to these ships in the verse itself. So here we are. And I'm going to first choose the RSI Aurora. Right here. And I'm going to retrieve it.
Your ship has been delivered to the farm.
You're totally welcome to do so, Lord Baggin. Yeah, it should be like patreon.com/Intrepid Dawn, but I'll put a link up. It just, like I said, it just got done just before the stream, and I'm gonna have a video on how to, you know, how to get started with that and everything. It's better for me. I think that you guys will have a better experience with that, and it allows me to track everything too. One of the problems with the Stellaris campaign last season was that there were, you know, thousands of comments for me to go through, and sometimes I miss things, whereas this way I get a nice detailed report from Patreon about, you know, who's subscribed for what level, and then you guys can use that to choose your stuff. So over here is the Aurora. Sorry, it is kind of a slideshow right now. So here we are. Okay. RSI Aurora, just as we saw it in the hangar, but now it's actually in the space environment. And you can see it with the backdrop here of Crusader, which is pretty cool. Crusader is the gas giant in the background. And overall, not a bad ship. Now it doesn't have a ramp, so if you need to enter the ship with cargo, we found out the hard way that you can't walk into the ship yet. I don't know if you'll be able to in the future with anything in your arms. You won't be able to take that up, so that's kind of an issue. But we'll turn on the lights, so I have a little light on my helmet, and then we can investigate this. You can see there's nice ambient blue lighting. It is pretty neat. Go ahead and get in the pilot seat now. Yes, John, that's the goal. I'm going to cancel the sponsorship so that you know, nobody else can become a sponsor at this point, and then everything will be through Patreon. You know, live stream donations, I'm not going to turn those off because there's a lot of people that like that. I understand that that's how Twitch likes to do it and stuff. So here we're going to power it on, so you can see that all of my interior lights have come on. And the exterior lights are on now, all our flashing lights. Well, let's take a look at it. So here we are, looking at the outside. You can see that we have all of our running lights on for safety, and that the ship genuinely looks pretty cool. You have the red lights on the one side and the green lights on the other, just like our ships. I guess they're saying that that convention has continued. So now we're going to turn on the engines.
Take off.
And you can see the difference. Now the engines are lit up in the back. So we are ready to go. Alright, we got the all clear from the tower. I'm just making that up because they don't really say anything whenever you decide to go. So we will go ahead, and you can see I pushed the stick forward on the left. And we have launched. So now I will retract the landing gear. And you can actually see that too. Let me do that again so you can watch that happen, because all this happens in real time. It's totally legit. So if I hit the landing gear actually comes out, and the ship can land like that. There's, you know, functional hydraulics there too. It's pretty neat. So we'll go ahead and retract that again. Alright, excellent. So here we are in the Aurora. Let's go ahead and jump to one of the planets just to see what's up. So we'll go ahead and press F2, which is the hotkey for our navigation system. I'm going to go to Daymar, set that as our destination. And good to go. Now we just need to find it. There it is. Daymar is directly in front of us. And we're going to set it up and tell the Navicomputer that we're going to jump to it. So this is what it looks like to jump in this ship. Kind of see that, and here, from this point of view, you can see what it looks like outside. It is pretty... It's definitely a fun thing to do. I'm going to take down the ship just so you guys can see this in atmosphere, and I think that'll probably be it. So we'll just go down and we'll try to get onto the light side of the planet so you guys can have a really good experience. Alright, so we're going full burn towards the terminal line here. Terminator line, is that what it's called? I think it's the Terminator line. Light between dark and light on the planet's surface as it rotates around. It's pretty cool. Well, thank you, Sean. You have a great night too, man. I appreciate you showing up tonight. And thank you very much for the donation. It's super appreciated for the channel. My wife appreciates it too. She wanted me to let everybody know that because, you know, she's been always the one that's kind of like, hey, I need you to prove this is worth your time, kind of thing. And I don't mean it in that way. I mean, just I spend so much time doing this. She doesn't want me to waste my life, so we're good. Let me see here. So I mean, it's not what I wanted to happen. Don't do it. Look at that. We're losing control. All right, fight it. There we go. I got it back. So make sure. I guess the moral of the story is make sure that you're holding down the free look button before you start moving your mouse. I wish I could like decouple the mouse completely from this whenever I have a joystick. Like there's really no reason that I would ever want to use the mouse for any type of control, so I'm hoping like in the future that'll be an option, that we can just be like, nope, you know, like turn off mouse inputs for steering. That way, you know, if I were to hold down F or something and use the mouse, it would always just be my head that was moving. I'm really hoping that's an option in the future. But here you can see some of the different screens, and this has been updated. The Mustang hasn't been. The Aurora has, so it's pretty cool. We're almost to the surface now, and you'll be able to see what it looks like on the planet. We'll be able to fly some of these craters and just get a general idea for its capabilities. Like I said, they're both starter ships, so you're probably going to want to upgrade from them, depending on what it is that you want to do, as soon as you can. But, I mean, they're still functional ships, and if nothing else, they can get you from point A to point B. Hey, what's up, Bash? Your head in? Yes, it is. It's kind of demanding. But at the same time, I mean, I have probably low-end 40 Chrome browsers open. I have 32 gigabytes of RAM. I have all kinds of things open in the background. I don't actually do anything to prep for these, so there's that. You think that someday you can fly into Crusaders, a way of trying to get rid of pirates? Yeah, that'll probably be the case. I know that they're working on the Cloud City, so to speak. Kind of like Star Wars, but if you've seen the concept art for it, it is a pretty cool thing. And they'll be doing that soon. Yeah, so here we are. Look, we're still flying full speed at this planet, and you can just, or this is a moon, but you just kind of get a sense of scale for how big this moon is. Considering that we're not there yet. There's some pretty interesting, and I'm turning very, very slowly, because if I make any big turns, the game will take me down from my top speed. But here we go. You can see that there's these really well-defined craters over here, and they're kind of unique in the atmosphere or in the topography of this planet. There's a lot of canyons and things that look like they were cut out by water, but these impact craters are pretty cool, and I'd like to go in there and take a look at them. So that's where we're gonna land. What's going on, chemistry guy? Good to see you. I think your GTX 660 will probably run this. Believe it or not, it's not the it's not really GPU limited. It's CPU limited with all the physics calculations. Okay, so we are on our way down, and oh geez. Let's go full reverse on the thrusters. Lock it in, Chewie. Oh, we're gonna die. So I kind of crashed into the surface there, but we didn't die because I think they turned off collision for some of these ships. But that's what happens when you're not paying attention. My bad. So we should be dead. Let me see if it modeled any damage. I don't think it does for the starter ship. It's very forgiving because it doesn't want you to have to load up again if you've never flown before. But yeah, you can see that I totally just slammed into the planet and bounced up, and I'm okay. I won't be in the future, for sure. I mean, you won't be able to expect to do that. But here you can see some of the craters that we were looking at from space, and holy crap, I was coming in way too hot. So we definitely have to look at our heads-up display next time and figure out how close to the ground we are. Okay, but here it is. Now this is pretty cool. We can see this from the surface, and we come down here, and it's actually here. It's not faked at all. You know, it exists. If I had a big enough ship and I was down there, they could see me too. So that's kind of neat. Okay, and then here we are. I mean, this is a good ship for, like, kind of reminds me of Blade Runner. If you've seen the new Blade Runner movie, running across the surface like this, like slightly off the ground. And it's also a good ship for, like, transport. It's responsive enough that you could fly these canyons at pretty decent high speed. I don't know if you'd want to, but you could. You know, and here we have the horizon indicator, which is helping me keep the ship level compared to the terrain. And this one isn't particularly difficult, but it gets worse on some of these canyons with quick corrections that need to be made. And you can see that there's still mass in the ship, like the back end. I don't know if you guys could feel that, but as I made that turn, here, I'm not turning on the dime. I'm actually sliding considerably towards the right wall as I do that, and I have to add more thruster to compensate. I'm right there, like my forward momentum stalled out because I was turning sideways so much. So it's very cool. The flight model, I'm a fan of it because it really makes these ships feel like they have weight and mass, which is important, I think, because as much as I love Star Wars, if you could just pull the stick and go any direction you want, then there's really no difference between an X-wing and a heavier ship in that regard. So here we go. I don't want to hit this, so I'm going to go a little higher. You can see that it was very difficult for me to make that right-hand turn because I was going too quickly, and I didn't put enough thrusters into it to stabilize. But even right here, I can't immediately turn around. So that's kind of cool that the combat is modeled like that. Alright, very cool. So let's go ahead and land on the planet, just so you guys can see how this one works too. And I'm gonna land up here so that we have some daylight. So I'm just looking for a nice flat spot where the sun is gonna reach me. Looks like this will be perfect right up here. So let's go ahead and bring it back. Alright. And now I'm going to put out the landing gear and take her down.
Landing complete.
Landing complete. And now I'm just going to power off the engine. And open the exterior. Okay. I'll tell you what, I have DDR3, I don't know, like 3200 or something. It's really not a big deal. It's more how much RAM you have in this, and right now, Star Citizen is not optimized, so it's sending me like physics calculations for everything out here that I have to do, whether it's on the other side of the system or not. So that's probably the biggest limitation. But here we are. I landed on the planet. As you can see, you know, the landing gear compensated for the fact that I didn't land on perfectly flat ground. And you can see my ship. Now what's really neat is that sun up there, and we can't really see it all that well. Maybe it's that red thing. Just looking, because the atmosphere here is pretty thick. This is almost like a Venus kind of thing. I'm thinking that's probably it. That red thing that you can see in the sky. But that could be the planet that we came from, the big gas giant that we started, and here we are. So if we had a homestead out here, or if we were doing some mining out here, which will be coming pretty soon, probably June or so, then that would be pretty neat, and we'd be able to play with that. We also have a cargo pod here so that we can, you know, carry some minimal cargo and make some money, just to start. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you could do it. You could be a mercenary, etc. But I thought this was kind of neat, and I wanted to show you guys how you can use your RSI Aurora to pretty much do anything that you want in the verse. It can handle pretty much all the roles. It doesn't do anything particularly well, but it does give you your choice as a starter ship. So that's the first one. So now we're gonna go ahead and you know, shoot ourselves in the face, because that's the quick way back to get the other one. Sorry about it. It's showing me the camera from underneath the planet surface. All right. So I'm going to respawn here at Port Ellisar. Hey, what's going on, Donald? Good to see you. Just got off to watch a stream. Okay, well, glad to have you. This one is not going to last long tonight, just because I want to show off these, and then I have other things I have to do this evening. But tomorrow night we're doing LucasArts. I wanted to flash up a picture of the schedule, so I'll do that for tomorrow night going forward, so you guys know what it is. I have a schedule that we're going to be streaming specific things on specific days going forward, so you'll always know when your favorite videos are, because quite honestly, I'm sick of putting up a video and having like 3 people unsubscribe as soon as it goes up, because I guess it wasn't the video that they wanted to see that day. And I want them to know that, yeah, you know, like if you like Star Wars Galaxies, that's Monday night, and Star Wars The Old Republic, that's Tuesday night. You know, Wednesday we'll do our pre-recorded Star Wars Rebellion. Thursday is Star Citizen. Friday is LucasArts Vault Day, which is whenever we play an old game like Jedi Knight or Jedi Academy, or, you know, any of those old classic titles. So tomorrow night we're playing Jedi Knight. And then Saturday is Stellaris multiplayer, and Sunday is the single-player campaign. So that's the Intrepid Dawn schedule going forward, and I'll let you know if anything changes with that. All live streams are 9 p.m. Eastern, with the exception of Saturday, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern, so that we can get even more time in for our multiplayer. Okay, let's go ahead and pull out the Mustang beta so that we can compare that. We'll do the same thing. We'll go to that planet, we'll look around, and we'll see, you know, is there a difference? Can I feel it in how it flies? You know, etc. So A4, which is over, where is it? There it is. It's over here. Keep getting stuck on this. Oh, cool. Yeah, I haven't seen the new Solo trailer. I'll have to look at that, because if it's not an episode, I don't really care about spoilers. It's just for, like, episode 9, I won't be listening to any spoilers at all for that. I like to just make up my own mind when I see it. Okay, so here it is. Okay, this one's in the sun, so we can see it from the beginning. So like I said, this is getting reworked, so this is going to change, and it's going to look much, much sexier. You can definitely find the rework concept art on the website. I don't have it here, but whenever I do a full review of it, once it comes out, I'll compare and contrast both of this to the rework, and the rework is much cooler looking. And it has a real landing gear. It no longer lands on its wings and all that, but in my mind, it is the superior ship compared to the RSI in practically every way. It wins the rule of cool, so that's a big deal. As you can see here, I'm walking around it. Let me show you. You know, as a person, this is probably the size of a maybe slightly smaller than an F-18 Hornet in real life, just to kind of give you an idea of what we have here. We'll go ahead and enter the ship. Okay. Just as we did before, and you can see over here there is a there's a bed and a little bit of a kitchen area over here. Looks like, you know, you could open these up. I guess we can store things in them later. That's interesting. I've never done that before. Alright, so now let's go ahead and get in the pilot seat and hope I don't fall out and die, because that was one of the other reasons this needed a rework, because it's a little bit messed up in here. Okay, so first we need to power on the ship. Let's go ahead and do power on.
Welcome. Your journey begins now.
And
All
I have a
systems operational.
cutlass in front of me, which is, I assume it's either Lord Baggins or I'm in a lot of trouble. You can see that he has a Drake cutlass, which is definitely not a starter ship. This is a, I think it's a $100 package. It is a mercenary ship. Can do a lot of things. So it's, I kind of always look at it as the Millennium Falcon of Star Citizen. It can do cargo, it can do smuggling, it can do piracy. It's got a multiplayer role. Pretty cool ship in front of us. So here's mine compared to his, just to reinforce it there. You can kind of see his ship's much bigger, whereas the Mustang is really only made for one person. But if we can get more than one person into the back there, I could take them. It wouldn't be comfortable, and it would be cramped, but it would be possible. Let's go ahead and go back out to Daymar. We're going to follow the same flight path as before, so that you guys can see the differences. I'll set that as my destination. Alright. And we're going to engage.
Engaged.
And this is what it looks like whenever you go to Quantum in this ship. You don't have all those struts, so it really feels kind of like you're standing out in space. And here it is from the outside too. It's a very cool look. I don't know if the Quantum in this ship is a little faster or not. I assume they probably are all the same right now.
Quantum travel complete.
I don't know that they have actually made any differences with it. Okay, there's my RSI Aurora. It's out there. It's 451 kilometers away, so I still have the waypoint to it. So I'm gonna go land next to it. Let's go ahead and kick this thing into full gear. So we're gonna put up the landing gear, and we're gonna burn for atmosphere. And you can see how quickly this one accelerates. Performance and everything definitely goes to the Mustang in terms of flight capability. So if you want something that is agile and you twist the stick and it moves as fast as it can, like that, I mean, this is definitely the ship for you. This is the closest you're going to get to flying like an A-wing or an X-wing in Star Citizen without spending, you know, at least upfront money or money in the game towards buying something like a Saber. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There is no loading in this game. Once I get to the space station and load in, I can go anywhere in this game, and there's no loading in a traditional sense. Now, obviously, as I move around, stuff loads in the background and stuff like that, but I'll never see a loading screen. And I do believe that the quantum travel is kind of like hiding loading in a way, but it's done in a tasteful way, so it's totally fine. In fact, I mean, on some of my other streams, you can see that I go from Crusader, I go from Port Olisar to this planet or another planet, get some cargo, go back, sell the cargo, go again, come back, no loading screens ever. So it is pretty neat how that works, actually. And I can't wait because whenever they put in the actual planets, these are just moons that we're going on. These things are huge, and these are moons, just to put that in perspective. Planets will have biomes and possibly, in the first release, I don't know if they're going to also have fauna, you know, like animals and things, but that's coming in the future. So there's just so much to this. This is really like a space planet simulator, essentially. You can see our top speed is 1216. So this ship is quite fast, and I'm going to look behind me to see if Lord Baggins is on my tail, because it is always possible that he could be out there lurking. But here you go. I mean, this is, like I said, this is the old style. This is what Star Citizen was years ago. So this ship definitely needs some updates based on where they've taken the, you know, the game at this point. But it is still very pretty. I mean, that's a gorgeous wallpaper right there. What's going on, the best around? Good to see you. It is definitely a cheap fighting ship, and it would be very hard to hit. I would say it's close to the A-Wing in that profile, and that it's not going to have big guns, but it's also going to be very difficult to counter. But, you know, it also has cargo space. The Mustang Alpha, I believe, has cargo space just like the Aurora, so you can do pretty much anything with either of them. Some of them have better, you know, better mission profile specs. Yeah, well, this is like Star Wars Galaxies on steroids. I understand, John. And the thing is that of the ones that we've seen, they are tiny. Like, even my Starfarer that I have here that's like 130 meters long, 4 decks high, that is absolutely a drop in the bucket in terms of the scale of some of these ships in Star Citizen. It's absolutely amazing. Alright, we're 200 kilometers away. So we're burning hard. And we're still going 1,216 kilometers per hour. So we're going to get there. You can see we're counting down. It's about 1 second per kilometer. So 170 seconds. We'll be there in about 3 minutes. Sorry about the delay, but that's the other cool part about Star Citizen. There's no shortcuts. You know, everything exists out there. If I have to fly there, it's all the way down there. We can't take like the short way. We have to go all the way. It's pretty neat. So go ahead and do that. What's going on, Firefist? Good to see you. Hey, the best around. Thank you for the donation. Shout out to the Constellation Phoenix with the hot tub. Nice.
Impressive.
Lord Vader is pleased as well.
Most impressive.
You know, I had a chance to buy the Luke Bespin jacket, not like the one that he wore, but one of them. You know, like a replica of it. And I wanted to get it, but I'm like, you know, who would really, if I wore that around to work, would anyone actually know what that was? So I ended up getting the Cassian Andor jacket instead, because I think that one is a little bit easier to tell that it's from Star Wars. But I really want the Bespin jacket, so someday I'm going to do that. Oh, here we go. So as you can see, I'm breaking the atmosphere right now because this planet has an atmosphere. So by coming in like this, just like on Earth, whenever the space shuttle comes in or a meteor or something, you can see the actual scattering there of the heat right off the nose. Just pretty neat. It's a nice little effect that they have. And we're about 60 kilometers out. And I'm on a pretty decent trajectory for this. I'm gonna actually accelerate my downward thrust so that we'll have some time to play around in the canyons down there, and you can see the difference in the ship and how it works here. And this time I won't slam it into the ground, so I think that we'll definitely get a better idea of what's going on here. Okay. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It generally does help me, and I appreciate it. Basically, YouTube thinks you're only worth, you know, as much as your subscribers or views. So I want to prove that the channel is going as well as you guys seem to indicate that it is for you, that you enjoy the content, and that there's a market for this. Okay, so here we go. We're coming in now. Our altitude is about 3K kilometers, and you can kind of start to really see details down here of the mountain ranges. There's no loading screens though. If you remember, I haven't loaded at all. This is all just gonna seamlessly stream into me as I come down here. Okay, so my current altitude now is about 500 meters. Everything's in meters in this game. 400 meters, it's on the left-hand side. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. I'm at 200 meters, 150 meters, and I just want to skim this surface and go as fast as we possibly can. So here we are. We're down here, we're about 80 meters off the ground, which is about as close as I'm willing to do right now, just because I don't want to explode if I hit it. And there are some undulations. We can see that we're on one of the flatter parts of the planet, which is pretty cool. Now we have a canyon over here, and I am quite literally scraping the surface right there. Let's take a look at that. Pretty neat how that works. You can kind of see a little bit. Pull up, pull up. There we go. Trying to fly this third person, it's surprisingly difficult. So that you guys get a cool experience with that. I think my ship is right around here too, so let's go back in. Oh, I must have missed it. Yep. There it is. So that other ship that we touched down is quite literally right there. There is Crusader where I came from. And check out this little shot. So there is persistence in the universe. These ships are gonna stay here until I put a claim in for them. Alright, so let's see if we can get a really good screenshot of this. Whoa! My ship wants to go fast. That's one thing that the Mustang is ready to go. You give it a little bit of throttle and it just scoots. I'll put these directly on each other on the noses, and then we can get a really nice shot of them here. There we go. Landing gear deployed. And land. In fact, let's come up a little bit. Get a little closer. Oh! Didn't mean to get that close. Too close, a little too close. There we go.
Landing complete.
Alright, so we
Complete.
landed the ship. Let's turn off the engine. Alright, ready to get out now. Yeah, in the future, I guess all we use is the metric system. I'll have to get used to it. Okay, it's really hard to get out of here. You gotta get to the ladder. Open ladder, exit ship. There we go. So that's another thing that it's getting a rework for, because this doesn't... Alright guys, so here we are. We have the Mustang, Alpha, or Beta. This one's the Beta, but they're very similar. Check them out on the stats page. And the RSI Aurora. My body isn't here, which would be kind of weird if there was like a dead body of myself here that I could look at, and then like as soon as I looked at it, the universe would explode. But check out that picture. So that's where we came from. We came over from that gas giant, and we have both variants of the starter ship here right in front of me. So these are going to be your options if you're interested in you know, in playing and you just want to spend the absolute bare minimum to get the game. You can do this, and then once you get these ships, you can start earning credits in the game through missions, and you can be a mercenary, or you can be a cargo hauler, or you can be a miner, or whatever it is. I mean, there's all kinds of different paths that'll be available. Right now, really only mercenary or cargo hauling is in the game, but the other ones will be coming in through the next couple patches, and it's pretty exciting. So I hope you guys liked it. That's all we're going to do for today. I was just kind of showing off the new ships and giving you an idea of what to expect if you have one of these ships, and this is the current state of the game, so you know, no punches pulled. This is where we are now, and who knows where we'll be in the future, but I am certainly impressed by this, and I think it's going to be really exciting. Now, if you stood here long enough, you'd actually see Crusader start to set there in the distance as the planet rotates, because the planet we're on rotates around the sun, and Crusader out there rotates around the sun, and this has a day-night cycle because that sun actually moves instead of just the sky moving, like in a regular game, so it is pretty neat. Alright guys, if you like the stream, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe for me. I genuinely do appreciate you. My name is Captain Katarn for Intrepid Dawn. I'm going to leave a link to the Patreon in the description if you're interested in checking that out and supporting me as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will catch you next time. I'll see you in the verse.